Well, my executive producer, Vicky Locke, couldn't stop talking about an event that took place in Atlanta a few weeks ago. It was called the Serve Ball, and she was an honorary chair, along with two of my other friends, Jan Smith and Ed Rowland. Joining me is Jim Vinyard. He's Director of Special Events at Serve. So welcome to the show, Jim. Glad to have you. What is Serve?
Thank you for having me. Serve International is a nonprofit organization based here in North Metro Atlanta. Been around for 13 years, and we basically feed the unfed globally.
And it's here in Atlanta.
Based here in Atlanta.
Wow. And, I was on the website looking at this, and I love the founder story. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was out in the wilderness, tripped and fell, and was eye-to-eye to one of the most deadly snakes in all of Venezuela.
Yep.
And at that moment, he was so impressed by, I guess a tribesman was there and killed the snake and saved his life, that he then developed this organization.
That he did. He thought that was God saying, wake up and let's do something with your life. So he did and started Serve International, and his calling was to basically start to go feed the children that are hungry of the world, the unreachable. So,
well, and you recently got back from Africa with another friend of the show, Tom Sullivan, who said it was a life-changing experiment. In
Very
fact,
much so.
You got Tom working for you today, I understand.
Yeah, Tom is our official Serve ambassador. We couldn't get rid of the guy, so we just got him some business cards and set him up with a chair and a table.
That's great. Well, tell us about some programs. Tell us about the House of Hope Orphanage.
House of Hope Orphanage is on one of Steve, our founder's trips, came across a 33-acre old rundown girls' school, and he had seen many, many orphans over in northwest Kenya near the Sudan border. So I just started collecting them, basically rescuing orphans that they don't have a system like we have here in the States, but if you're an orphan, you're a true orphan. You are at age 2 or 3 wandering around begging for food because you have no parents that maybe have died of famine or AIDS or violence of some sort. And
so for what region do you take children into this orphanage?
We just
what areas?
It's called the Turkana area. So and they're basically hundreds and hundreds. So this 33 acres it's like an oasis. Steve has planted trees that have grown and flourished out in the sand. We've drilled a well, and we now have for the first time in that area planted 5 greenhouses, which are producing tons and tons of fruits and vegetables.
Wow, so it's self-sustaining as well,
exactly.
It sounds like. And, of course, every place needs money,
yes.
Of course, and all. So what does it cost to operate something like this?
Well, we have for the children, we, of course, like I said, they have 33 acres, so we can keep on building more dormitories, more classrooms, because we do educate them. But basically for $55 a month, you can sponsor a child. We have some that are sponsoring 2 and 3 children, some individuals, and $55 a month is, if you think about it, is not a lot of money.
No, I tell you, some days that's a lunch.
Yes.
For one person here
exactly.
in Atlanta. So
yes.
So $55 a month.
That
great.
Gives them food, shelter, clothing, and we actually educate them on property.
Wow, that's great. Okay, and we're going to come back to this several times because I don't want people to miss out. So how do they find out about your organization and make donations for this cause?
Well, there's several ways. If you're in the Atlanta area, we'd love for you to come by our offices in Canton, Georgia. Otherwise, you can go to our website, which is serve1, so that's SERVONE.org, serve1.org. And just click on the Rescue Orphans page, and there's bios of all the current orphans we have. Once we get them fully sponsored, then that allows us to go out and get 10 more orphans at a time and rescue them.
Wow, so the more money you get, the more you
orphans.
open it.
Yeah.
And so right now you got plenty of space for those orphans.
We do, yeah. We have some building projects going on and that we're trying to get funded as well for more dormitories and classrooms.
And you have other projects besides this orphanage.
That we do.
Tell me about them.
We have the Serve One, Feed One program, which basically a lot of local area youth groups, classrooms, and a lot of musicians have kind of flocked around us because we provide a meal that's only 5 cents per meal. It's dehydrated food, potatoes, carrots, soy protein, all the vitamins, everything you need for a nutritious meal.
Well, and it doesn't sound too appetizing, but we're talking about people that one meal a day will save their life.
Exactly. Yeah, we just I heard a conversation in Swahili at a seminar, and I asked him if everything was okay. It's here in Atlanta, and he said an orphanage in Mombasa, Kenya, their students, 600 students, are only eating one meal every 2 days. So I had the opportunity to say, I can get you 100,000 meals in about 6 weeks to your orphanage in Mombasa that'll be coming across the ocean, and I want to give that to you as a gift, and you document it, let me know how it goes, and I'll continue.
Wow. I
to give
mean,
it.
he
So-
had to be blown away.
Yeah, and he actually spoke at the Serve Ball. His name was Adili and Harry, and we're able to come on and talk about our relationship with Serve.
Well, what kind of story can you give me about the impact that you've had over there? I mean, I'm sure there's some individual stories of these orphans over there.
Oh, there are. I can give you one briefly. Steve came up to when he was early on in his early days, or not early days, but a few years ago actually. He came across this one village, and he knew of this one little girl. Her name's Pamela, who is only 5, and she was known as the water girl. Her parents had died, and for a couple of years she had gotten water for all the villagers. And that was her only job. She slept out in the middle of the sand at night, and they would just feed her. So he pulled up, and she knew who he was because he had been there before to rescue another orphan. She dropped her little water pails after she walked for about an hour, ran off in her little brown tattered dress, dirty, and came back, and he felt somebody grab his pinky. And it was the
Right.
same little girl. She went and changed into a little pink torn-up dress and said in Swahili, "Take me." And he
Oh, my
knew who
God.
she was. He knew that she was an orphan, so he put her in the vehicle and drove, and he said she never looked back. And just within hours of getting her, a shower, getting her cleaned up, getting her a meal, she just was a totally different person.
Does it still affect you like this is affecting me right now? I mean, you do
Oh, yeah.
this every day, but you hear a story like this, and, a tear comes to your eye, and you kind of get a chill about these little children, that are
Yeah.
in this world. And no matter where they are, we're going to be talking to Emily Saltino about an orphanage here in Georgia, and I know some of those stories.
Yeah.
But you're telling me the same story, and it's not in the United States. I mean, the kids are the same all over the world.
Exactly.
But it is just heart-wrenching to hear this. But it's empowering, that you'd think a child, not knowing any better, I mean, they're trying to better their lives the only way they know how, emotionally, to attach.
Yeah.
But that's why this is such a great cause, and we wanted to have you on the show today.
Well, I appreciate that.
What stories? So, how many countries are you working in right now?
We've been in Mexico for years, and actually built a compound there, and basically handed it back over to the Mexico people in this area, Monterrey. And basically, Steve said, "Y'all got this under control, so I'm handing you the keys. It's yours now. I'm moving on."
Wow. So left that one?
Left
and
that
then
one.
went on.
Was challenged to go to Kenya, and would not go because he said there's so many organizations in Kenya, and this one Kenyan that was here in the States said nobody goes to the Northwest. Nobody goes to the 5 hours into the desert. So that's where he decided to go.
Wow. And how
We're
long have you
also-
been there now?
He's been in Kenya for about 6-7 years now.
Okay.
Has done all this, built this orphanage, has fed 5 million people over there. We're also in Dominican Republic, and we just now, as of 2014, will launch into Honduras after many, many requests for food in Honduras.
Wow. Very ravaged by just acts of nature. A lot of need down there.
Definitely.
And all. And so, but it is child focused.
Yeah, mostly women and children. When we did a cooking demonstration in Kenya, the ladies were laughing at us because Tom and Steve and I were actually cooking.
Right.
And they're not used to seeing men do any kind of work.
Really?
They sit
Fantastic.
they
Well,
sit
that
under
sounds
a
like
tree
my
and hang.
house.
Yeah.
But especially this time of year. Well, this time of year we are thinking about how to give back. So tell us again, how do we get in touch with you?
Just go to our website, serve1.org, and all our information is on there, the Serve One Feed One program, the House of Hope, and all the other projects.
That's great. Well, thanks for all you do to help children globally. Jim Vinyard, Director of Special Events at Serve. You can get more information at serve1, SERVONE.org. Coming up, how you can help make it a brighter Christmas for children closer to home. You're listening to Doc Talk with Dr. Jeffrey Gallops on Talk Radio 640 WGST.